Hello and welcome at Kemper. In this video I'm going to show you how to maintain our Hygiene flush box pure. To open the Hygiene flush box pure, you need to push in the middle of the cover, and the cover is protected by falling out by a magnet and a latch. To release the latch, we need a little screwdriver and push the latch a little bit to the bottom and can open our Hygiene flush box. To do the full maintenance, you require a USB thumb drive for downloading the logged data of the Hygiene flush box pure. In the box we find a quick overview that should be remaining in the box after commissioning of the Hygiene flush box, and it contains an overview of the different colors of the lamps that indicate the operating mode of the flush box. The second page shows the quick guidance for commissioning, the presetting of the operating modes, and on the last page you find how to do the manual flushing. The different colors in the box can be either green for standby, yellow for presetting the valves, blue for an active flush, or red that indicates an error. If the colors of the valves are shown in blue, we can interrupt the active flushing by pressing the button. If the color is red and we have an error, we can confirm the signal sound by pressing the button for 1 second and another 5 seconds to acknowledge this error. The next step is to release the cover from the siphon trap. Therefore, we are grabbing the cover from the sides, lift it a little bit and take it out to the front. Now we can check if there are any leaks in the Hygiene flush box. We check the valves, we check the aerators, and if everything's dry, we can control the operating parameters of the Hygiene flush box. Therefore, we press the button for 1 second, and we can now see the presetting of the interval duration for valve number 1 is 48 hours. We confirm and check the duration. The duration of the flush for valve number 1 is preset to 5 minutes. We confirm again and control the settings for valve number 2. Valve number 2, the duration, the interval duration is preset to be 72 hours. We confirm the setting and check the duration of every flush. This is set to 5 minutes and we can confirm again. Now the control starts a flushing for exactly the preset duration, and we can check if the water is going into the siphon trap nice and smoothly without splashing. To continue with maintenance, we can interrupt the flushing process by pressing the button. Now we are going to check the solenoid valves. Therefore, we need to isolate the water supply by shutting off the water at the quarter-turn stop valves on top. We pull the plug of the solenoid valve and confirm the warning noise by pressing the button. Then we open the union nut and take out the solenoid valve to the front. We can now check if there is any debris inside the solenoid valve or if the mesh is clean. If there is any dirt inside, clean the valve under fresh water. After that, take the solenoid valve and put it back into the housing. Fasten the union nut and pull the plug back into the controller. Now we can do the same for the second valve. The next step is to check the aerator. Therefore, we unscrew the aerator and flow limiter unit and disassemble the aerator from the flow limiter. Take care not to lose the gasket and check if the mesh inside the aerator is clean. If there is any debris remaining, please clean under fresh water. Now we are taking out the flow limiter from its housing and check this component of debris and if that's clean. Also here, if there is any dirt inside, please clean under fresh water and place the flow limiter back into the housing and take care that the gasket is on the top. Assemble the aerator back into the housing and place the entire component at the end of the flush point. We are doing the same steps for the second valve. In our maintenance manual, you find a recommendation table for the replacement interval of the jet regulator depending on the water hardness. We can now reopen the supply valves on top and check for leaks. And also on the valve number 2, at the solenoid valve and the aerator. If there are no leaks, we want to check if the water is still flowing smoothly into the siphon and we are starting a manual flush. Therefore, we press the button for 5 seconds. After we get the acknowledgement sound, the control has now selected valve number 2 only, but we want to process a manual flush for both valves. To select both valves, we are turning the button. We have now selected both valves and can confirm. The duration is preset to be 1 minute, and if you want, you can change the duration to any other time you would like. I stay with a 1 minute and confirm the manual flush. We can see that the water flow is smooth through both channels and the water flow therefore is okay. We stop the flush by pressing the button. Next, we are checking the siphon. Therefore, we are isolating the water supply again. This is for safety reasons to avoid scalding, because the Hygiene Flushbox Pure can also be used to do hot water flushes, and I want to prevent scalding while I have my hands in the siphon. Now I'm taking off the trap grid and check the function of the overflow. The overflow sensor is the white element at this position, and therefore I'm lifting the float and an alarm occurs. The alarm is shown visually by the red LED and by sound, and it quits as soon as I let the float go again. Then I can do a visual check if there is any dirt or debris inside the siphon, and if it is dirty, it needs to be cleaned. After cleaning the siphon, I'm putting back the trap grid into position. Open the stop valves and take the siphon cover back into position as well. Take care that the cables are in the right position of the cover. The last step of maintenance is to download the log file from the controller. Therefore, I'm opening the controller with my screwdriver. There's a latch at each side, which I can press shortly, and then open the cover to the front. In the control, we see the USB port on top of the controller, where we will insert our thumb drive. The data transfer automatically starts. With this USB drive, we can see the data transfer based on our LED. If your thumb drive does not have an LED for indicating data transfer, we are recommending that you leave your USB thumb drive in the control for at least 2 minutes. When the data transfer is complete, you can unplug the thumb drive and close the cover back again into position and check if it's sitting in the correct position. The last thing to do is to place the short overview back into the Hygiene flush box and to close to close it with a cover. Take care that these notches are going into the right holes here. Take the cover, position it correctly, and push down the latch with a screwdriver and push the cover back into position. And that's all for the maintenance of the Hygiene Flushbox Pure.